Well, we love tiny epic galaxies. The mini expansion, the playmat, the nice bits for it. And now we make it even better with the tiny epic galaxies Beyond the Black Deluxe expansion. Same size box. Obviously different. Your galaxies have expanded to the extent of known space. You overlap with your rivals and fight tooth and nail for fertile planets. Now it is time to extend your horizons. Upgrade ships to the limits of today's technology. Ready them with skilled pilots and go beyond the deep blackness of space into the truly unknown universe. Introducing pilots, advanced ships, exploration. Same thickness to the cardboard, perhaps slightly different texture. First thing we do when we look at the inside box is we see a dice bay, same as the top of this box. It blows my mind how many people were like, isn't it amazing that the top of the box doubles as a dice tray? It's that way for any board game box. It just says Dice Bay in this, which is great. I love that. I've got no problem with that. I think that's fun. But the sheer number of reviewers and people who were just like, had their minds blown that it was labeled with something that everyone already knew it could always do. That's alright. People are ridiculous. Dice tray, Dice Bay. That's kind of fun. Comparing the difference there. Expansion rulebook. Beyond the Black. How large is the rulebook? Seven pages, 8th page. So, about what you'd expect compared to the first game. So, we're just looking at this in order of how it appears in the game. This looks to be the deluxe box that I'm sure won't be in all of them, but the sleeve that holds the two together. So that's fun. Base game. And additional box. This seems to be what makes it deluxe, which is the mini expansion. Same size, number of cards, pieces, and rulebook size as the mini expansion for deluxe of the base game, which was the satellites and battle planets, those super weapons. This is for drones, okay, so that's cool. Oh, and additional pilots. Game one, cute. Awesome. Thought mine was supposed to come with a new playmat. I thought I had pledged for that, for this Kickstarter. If it's not in here, I'll have to ask them about it. Careful. Here is where we see the exploration portion of Beyond the Black. what are these? New galaxies, new black holes. I forget the theme of them, but they seem cool, and it's fun to have circular cards. There's got to be some kind of circular sleeve, but maybe there's not. All right, black hole and alien transmission. Okay, so they're encounters. They're dangers. Perhaps that's what they're called. Oh, I guess some are dangers, some are positive, and that's where the push your luck element, I remember now seeing people mention about. So these look great. It seems that perhaps circular cards should be more common considering how easy they would be to shuffle. You don't have to kind of line up any edges. Alright, we've got the new pilots. We know those are a huge feature of the new game. Bunches of them, bunches and bunches. Probably a lot more than this game needs, even if there was just, 4 for each of the 5 players. Would probably do it, saying what kind of ship they can go into. Art's fine, I suppose. I'm not trying to be a sour in that regard. It seems fine. Cool. Now, we have Unexplored Space. Is this the same on both sides? Yes, it is. Alright, so that's all the Unexplored Space stuff, so that's cool. This is something that would have been great from the beginning, but it's terrific that it's here now. One of the kind of simplest features is just the score counter, and that's nice. Before, you just always had to kind of keep track and people reminding when they gained points. Now it's kind of cool to have a victory point tracker. Now, what makes the two sides different? That's something I'm not sure of. It may be that one is for solitaire and one's not, but 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, clearly the one has the planets, the other doesn't, but we'll have to check out why that is. So these are the kind of supplemental playmats in addition to your actual galaxy sheet that you have in the base game. These ones are all about your new ships you can upgrade to and the new pilots. Alright, so hire any pilot, I guess, with paying 3. And then you can get, hire any pilot for one of these with 3, or spend 2 of the types they say to get them for that particular ship. And then certain pilots go to certain ships. So all of these are the same on the front, but what's cool is on the back, each of them are additional rogue galaxies, meaning like AI galaxies you can play against in solitaire. This is a hard one. Alright, we had hard before, but it must be a different kind of hard. It has its own name, Chernobog. Yeah, Chernobog. Another medium. Another easy. Another beginner. And an epic, another epic one. So that's what we had before, but these must have different rogue colony actions when they attack. And they just must overall behave differently, essentially be variants. This up here must show the BB is the Beyond the Black, I'm sure. So that's fun. Now let's look in here. The rogue pilots. Variant to rules for solo play. Overview. Now I'll have to check if this information is also in the rulebook. I suspect it would be. And this is just a quick, easy reference. But hopefully it's in there too. I'm sure it must be. Let's look. Huh. I don't know that it is. Maybe if you need the solo play, you have to look inside the box lid. I wish it was in both places. Even if it's redundant, all rules should be in the rulebook, in addition to anything else. Oh, unless it's just written here differently and I just, in my fugue, missed it. But not the end of the world if it's the only place to find it. So these are each individual, and they're pretty cool. These must be score counters. Where would these go onto? Would they go onto here? Or would they go onto somewhere on there? These are delicious. Oh, don't eat. Okay. I guess we're not supposed to eat them. Alright, so we have the new ships for each of the 4 types of... Each of the 4 types of ships for each of the 5 different colors. That's great. These are probably, so far, the most impressive physical feature is how nice these cuts are for the wood. Despite being intricate shapes, they seem to cut it and paint it really well. That's not disappointing. Wonderful. Totally approve of that. And these seem good and fine as score counters. So, I'm impressed. I'm happy. I'll check if there's supposed to be a playmat. Maybe there's not. And if there's not, then I'm just a bit silly. I thought there was that was supposed to be reminiscent to this playmat, and I thought I had ordered for it. I'll check. Well, obviously that's all the expansion stuff. Things to explore. All the new ships. The new pilots. And wait, wasn't there supposed to just be new planets? Where's my new planets? Am I missing stuff? Did I look through them and put them in there and not notice? Oh, there they are. Good, good, good. Alright. This is, to me, whenever you get an expansion and you get more of the same, even though that sounds bad, more of the same, that's actually often what I'm most excited for. It's what I like the original game, is I like what's in the original thing, and I want more variety of those things. So even if I don't play with the expansion, I can play with at least most of these, the new secret missions and the new planets, and that's great. Let's look at some of their art and names. Move one of your ship to an unexplored space. Okay, so see, that would only work if you're playing with the expansion stuff. I expect I mostly would. But if I'm not, you can just discard that planet and draw another one. The art on these planets so far, to me, looks more interesting already than the base game planets. Very Earth-like planet. That's fun. We didn't have one of those before. Cats are excited too for this. I always felt there needed to be more of these, so I'm really excited that there are. Haven. Game 2, a few of the most exploration cards at the end of the game. This one's fun. All little planets. Giants. Okay. Well, that's great. So I'm happy with it. Again, I'll have to check about if there's supposed to be a playmat. Keep mentioning that. If there's not, I could see putting some things here in the middle, like, because on my original base game playmat, you could put, like, the score tracker in there. You could, perhaps put Unexplored Space in there. Yeah, I mean, I guess for the new stuff, there doesn't really need to be a whole big old playmat. Oops, excuse me. Just for what's basically those two, isn't it? That would be a heck of a lot. But really, for the base game, you didn't need this big old playmat either. It's kind of overkill. We have some extra room on the sides with, excuse me, things that are larger than they need to be. Like these numbers are, the dice aren't that big, but that's okay. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know what you'd like to see more of. I know this video is probably terrible. I think unboxing videos are pretty terrible. They're all self-indulgent, are they? It's just us basically jerking off with our new stuff, but they're not that fun to watch, and yet can't help but seem to want to watch them because you want to see what it is, but you're just like, well, crap, that didn't help me. I already knew I wanted the thing or didn't want the thing, so I don't know. Perhaps I'm cynical, but I think it's just a mix of either self-indulgence, I record my delight at opening my new shit, or it's just a cheap, uncreative way of getting more views that doesn't really take any forethought. You're just opening a box. I don't know. If you don't agree with that, let me know. If you do agree, point out what a hypocrite I am. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.